Hello, my name is Phil Borgic. A little under a year ago, Karen and I came out of the house at 4:30 in the morning to find our home buildings on fire. From this view, all we can see is smoke and flames. I'm here today to show you what a lot of hard work from a lot of different people have been able to rebuild our farm, and we are almost back to full production at this time. I hope you enjoy our tour today. What you see in this picture is one of the many things we do to keep our pigs comfortable throughout the summer. It is a wall of water. Those black wall that you see, we run water over it during the summer, during the heat, and we're able to take 10 to 15 degrees temperature out of there to help our pigs and our employees stay more comfortable during the hot winter or during the hot summer. As we enter the office, which I'm excited to show to you today because we've done quite a few things to upgrade the office and make it more friendly to our employees and our guests as they arrive on the farm. So we are going to go tour that office. It is not completed yet, but I'm excited to show you what we do have. As we enter the office, this area here we'll have a metal grate over the top of it to where we'll be able to take our outside shoes off and hang our outside coats here so that we don't carry that dirt and potential contamination onto the farm. One of the things that we did to make our office, shop, break room area as a better environment is to lay the vinyl floating floor down on the floor so that it doesn't just appear to be concrete. We've added water to the floor, so we have heated floors and throughout the break room and lunchroom here, and so they're not on sock foot on a cold floor, again to get a better environment for employees that are working here on a daily basis. As you enter the farm, we have 10 showers then that are used then to for the employees and guests to take a shower before they can go into the farm. Once you enter the shower, we will have a locker here for your personal items and a place to hang your outer garments. One of the added features that we're doing here is we are putting a mosaic tile in the shower area. Again, it's very important to have a good environment for all that enter our farm. As they come across the shower after showering, here there will be clean clothes for them to put on every day before they enter the barn. To keep those clothes clean, here in the laundry room, we will have 6 washers and dryers then to do all that laundry on a daily basis. Here is then our lunchroom, break room, and meeting room. On this wall here, we will have refrigerators, stainless steel shelves, and microwaves. We're going to have 6 microwaves, but when you think about 30 people, that's not that many microwaves per person. As you can see, we have a very large room here so that the staff can gather at one time. We have meeting rooms and manager's office on this side. These 2 big cabinets here are UV lights, ultraviolet lights. So anything that comes onto the farm that doesn't go to the disinfectant room will go through these UV cabinets then to kill any viruses that are on the surface. On this wall here, we will have a 65 to 75 inch TV for meeting purposes and relaying messages then to the staff on a daily and monthly basis then. It's one of the tools we'll use for education and communications. The manager's office then, he'll have his own space here, and this is a small conference room that we will have computer terminals in it and small group meetings at this point. You can see we've added lights and windows so that they don't feel closed in and part of the group. As we walk this way, this is our storage supply room. We are required to control the amount of drugs that we use and antibiotics. And by having a room like this, we can control who has access to it and who does not. As you can see, here's another manifold in for heating the floor throughout this area that we're walking through now. We go back into the big area then, and this room here then will be our shop, motor storage area that will do light repairs in this area and store motors then for use when they're needed. This room here then is utility room. What you see in front of you here is a water heater. I challenged my contractor that I wanted to take 20 showers in 20 minutes, and this is what I received back. It's a 180 gallon storage tank with 2 inline water heaters to make sure we have plenty of water for our employees and our guests. Next to its right then is the hot water boiler system then that will keep the floors warm in the wintertime in this space. Over here we will have water pumps and whatever else we may need in the future. We're standing over a 140,000 gallon cistern that's built underneath this office. We will use about that much water on a summer day and 100,000 gallon of water probably on a normal day. But I really put this cistern in for fire protection. This way we will have 140,000 gallon of water on the farm at any time, and the firemen will have access to it to be able to put a hose down in there and suck that water out without going to town. This office, we found out that a lot of the fires do start in the office area, and so we have used as much non-combustible material in this space as possible. The walls are all Fire-X sheetrock, so it's 5/8 sheetrock with a metal coating on it that will not burn, and it has a long burn-through timing. The doors that we've used in here are all metal exterior doors. Again, they don't burn. The ceiling has 5/8 sheetrock on it, covered by metal. Again, if a fire would start in our office, we could retain the fire here as long as possible so that we can respond to it. And we'll talk about some of those fire prevention things as we go through the barn today. For the large supply items that we use, in which we use a lot of supplies, they'll come through this room here. It's an 8x16 chamber that we will be able to fog with disinfectant and then let set and dry until all viruses are killed on the surfaces of those supplies. This will be used daily. It will be locked and with limited access then to only certain people to make sure that the system runs properly. As we get ready to leave the lunchroom meeting room area and go into the hog shed from this direction, this area here again will have a graded floor on it with 2 benches to where we'll be able to take our barn boots off before we come into the lunchroom meeting room area. That way we'll keep the floors clean in that area and keep our boots out of here. From here then we will enter a farrowing hallway. With the opportunity to rebuild the farm, we were able then to make every room the same on the whole farm. And that's going to be a big benefit for our staff over time because every room will be the same, every ventilation system will be the same. This is just one of the many controllers on the farm. That is the Maximus system, so that Josh and his team can actually monitor what's going on in the barn from their phone, no matter if they're here, at home, or on vacation. It's been a big advantage to our operation as we adopted new technology. This room here then is our SCW storage and baby pig loadout. It's got 20 pins in it, and they're the same size, so we'll be able to stage your pigs in this room before they get ready to load. In case of emergency to where we couldn't load out pigs for whatever reason, snowstorm, truck breakdown, whatever, we have feeders in here so that we could hand feed the pigs for the time that they need to stay here. That gives us a lot more flexibility than in case of emergency. As we go on down in the farrowing room hallway, this hallway is actually over 600 feet long if it was opened up from one end to the other. And we're going to check into the first farrowing room that is in the process of being washed and getting ready to be used. Each one of the farrowing rooms has 154 crates in them that we'll be using then for birthing our baby pigs and keeping them safe. As you can see, the environment here will be clean like this each time we take pigs out and put new pigs in. The flooring is designed to keep the baby pigs warm and protected from their mother. A sow will weigh anywhere from 400 to 600 pounds, and when the baby pigs are born, they only weigh 2 to 3 pounds. And so we need to protect them from mom rolling over on them. The black mat then, as you can see here, keeps the baby pigs warm. We want to keep them about 92 degrees warm, and we'll put these heat lamps down on that black mat to get a warm zone here for the baby pigs and keep mom cool in the middle. This feeder here in front of the stall allows her to have all the food that she wants to eat. There's an agitator on the bottom of the black cone here that allows her to bump a ball so that feed falls down into the trough and she can eat when she wants to. Some girls will eat several times a day, and some will eat 2 or 3 times a day. So this allows them to adapt to their habit, and in that way we'll get more consumption then from each of the girls, and she'll be able to produce more milk then for her baby pigs. Each room has a heater. Actually, it has 3 heaters in it to keep the rooms warm in the winter time. All the air comes through the inlets there, so the air in the winter and in the summer then comes in throughout the room to keep the room at a consistent temperature no matter what part of the room you're in. We're going to continue on down the hallway. Next we will come to the breeding room where the animals, where the girls are taken after weaning to be cared for and bred for their next litter. There are 670 stalls in this room. Each one of them has their own feed and water. The nipple there allows each one of the girls then to get water on each side of her and at any time they want. We're working on a system that will mimic more of a full feed system, and that is in development. But as you can see, each one of them then are protected from each other, and the individual care is much easier to get and to give and to service the animals when they do come back in the heat. Bins, we do not have our shower area and where we can change our outside boots. Then here I'm going to put on a boot cover so that I'm not carrying outside dirt or germs into the farm as we enter the area that we consider clean. When you have as big a feet as me, that's not an easy task. open up the gate to open up the rest of the farm to us. As we enter the rest of the farm, this is the main crossroads of the heart of the farm. Through those double doors then is gestation, to where the sows are housed while they are gestating their piglets. That hallway there is a concrete hallway, 40 feet long, concrete roof, and those are stainless steel doors at that point. As we come around here, this is the rest, some more farrowing in front of us. And on this side here then is an additional gestation area, again with a concrete hallway and roof, stainless steel doors at that point. Actually above me here is a firewall in the attic to slow the fire down if it does reach the attic. We're going to continue on down. There's actually 14 rooms. I'm sorry, there's 8 rooms of 154 crates and then 8 rooms of 56 crates. The 8 rooms was built just before the fire, and so those are different than the rest of the farm. Down here is going to be the center of our farrowing area, to where we're putting in a break area for the employees and a place to do some education. We have 3 bathrooms here in the center of this area, but from this direction then, we would have 616 farrowing crates that direction and 616 farrowing crates in this direction. Again, this is the main hallway. We divided this hallway with these panels to allow employees access without getting in the way of the sows, so that they're not in the way as we're trying to move the animals up and down. These 2 doors here that's in front of us today are what protected the farrowing room, farrowing building that we were just building and getting ready to use the day of the fire. We had 2 stainless steel doors there, and they prevented that fire from getting into this other building. The day of the fire, this side, there was nothing here but ashes and bent tin. And on the other side, you didn't know that we had a fire. So they performed very well. And it is, again, this was my first concrete bunker. So you can see I've got a concrete ceiling, concrete walls, and in this room here then is our pressure washers, because I thought that's where we had a great risk. As you can see, it is a mess, because this is their office that they've been using since the day of the fire. But we have our pressure washers in this room. Again, totally concrete facility, non-combustible, so if something happens in here, we hope to contain it right here. This is one of the many large refrigerators we have on the farm, to keep our vaccines and antibiotics in a temperature-controlled area. We have came back to the one of our T hallways here, and as you can see, we're back to the divide. We're in construction mode yet, and so this will not have this kind of environment when we do finally get done, and not all this stuff sitting around. But I wanted to show you the break room that we have for the farrowing staff in the heart of the complex. So this area here will be used for storage of a lot of supplies, dry goods, vaccines, or we'll bring that big refrigerator and put in here. We have hot water, we have a workbench, we got a sink then to keep our tools clean and be able to wash our hands. Again, here is a separate area. This is what those other 2 areas will look like. with steel flooring grating. We'll have this bench put in here so that they'll be able to take their boots off before they go into their break room. So this is a Farrowing Lab break room. You can see the vinyl flooring here because it doesn't have so much dirt on it like the other one had on that. This would be for breaks, not for lunch. We'll have microwaves up here on the shelves. Then we'll have a refrigerator in the corner, and again we have the windows in so they don't feel isolated. They'll be able to see in and see out, along with heating and cooling. And then this is a small conference room, so if a couple people need to get together to discuss what needs to be done today, they have a place they can sit down and work things out. As you can see, we have nice wide hallways here. Not only make moving the animals easier and safer, it just gives a better environment to work in. And now we're going to go see what most of you really want to see with this taping is some baby pigs, then with mom. So as you can see, the baby pigs are laying on the black mat away from mom so that they don't get crushed, and she's in her environment and they have their own. Because today's temperature was 90 degrees, the lights shut off automatically and are not running at this time. These pigs were just born in the last couple days, and you can see they're spread out and very comfortable, and mom is too. Up in the feeder, you can see she has access to water there. Mom decided to get up and see what I'm doing back here. She has ear tags in her ears then, so that we can identify her from the others in the room, and we know then her history and everything that's happened to her, or be able to track what's going to happen to her in the future. The feed boxes in this room now are full of feed to where she can get food at any time that she wants. This litter here inside is dinner time. As you can see, several of the litters here are eating lunch. They eat about every hour to 2 hours, and as they get older that changes and it gets less frequent, but they eat larger amounts as they get older on that. So we came on down to the rooms where the sows are actively pigging. You can hear there's a lot more sound here because there's activity. We have two, that's Ryan, that is taking care of the moms as they're giving birth. You can see the two piglets in front of me that were just born a few minutes ago and are trying to find the other where mom milk will be. When you see a litter like this and they're not laying underneath the light, they're too hot. One of the things that we know about pigs, they will find the right temperature to suit their needs, and they will move away from the heat if it gets too warm, or to the heat if they get cooler. So just a few doors down, we got to see new pigs being born that were just a few minutes old or less than a day old. And now we're going into a room then that the pigs will be weaned on Monday of next week. and they're weighing about 11 to 12 pounds. And they do that in a short 21 days. As you can see, the weight is dramatically increased. Then they're still doing the same thing they did when they was first born. They're drinking mom's milk and gaining weight. Mom, again, has access to feed at any time she wants with a full feeder in front of her. I'm going to try to demonstrate how she does get her food. On the bottom of this black tube then is a ball. She can raise up on that ball and it puts feed down in the trough, and then she eats it then out of the trough, mixed with a little bit of water. But she can do it at any time. You can see that pigs actually keep their space very clean, especially when they get a little bit bigger like this. They are able then to stomp that down. Each one of the girls has a card that's a little dusty, or should have fixed that ahead of time. But on this card then has all the information we need to know how she has done in the past and how she did with this litter. And so we can make culling decisions from the information on this card. It also tells us how old she is. This girl is actually, I don't see, the second parity. You see this room is the same as the other rooms that we've been in, again, so that it makes it easier to manage, and every room is the same. So we went back down to the crossroads here at the heart of the farm, and we're going to go then into one of the gestation barns on the farm. As you can see, the sloped areas here, we have put grooves in the concrete to make sure that our sows have good footing when they walk down these slight slopes, and our employees. As we enter this area here, you can see that we're 100% concrete in this area, again, to prevent the fire from going from one spot to another. And then we have the stainless steel doors in to keep the fire from going through at this time. So we will work very hard to keep, to have employees make sure these doors are shut at night. This is one of our gestation barns then that's on the farm. They're all basically the same. This barn here was one of the barns that was partially burnt. As you can see down this front hallway, we have Farmwell beautiful blue crates on this side were replaced after the fire, and then on the other side then is stalls that have been in use for several years that were not damaged by the fire. So you can see we lost about a third of them that are left, but we modified this barn, so we actually lost about half of them in the barn the day of the fire. The cards that you see hanging on the cable then have the individual girl's information. It will have her tag number, the day she was bred, and information then for moving her to the next station. That is our information that we need on a daily basis to care for the individual girls. Appreciate you joining me on this short tour of our rebuilt farm. As you can tell, we're still in construction, and that's why I waited to the last minute to do this. And it's definitely not a professional video, but I wanted to give you a little bit of a flavor of what the farm looks like today. I want to thank Jack Kirk with Longhorn Construction for all the work that he's done this last year, jumping in and getting us rebuilt. We had numerous people working to clean up the trash and the residue after the fire to get it hauled out to where we can start over again. And the list is miles long of how many people have been out here working on this last year. And appreciate then working with Troy Alexander, Thorn Creek then, on getting us through the process of getting our insurance money and rebuilding. Along with that then, our bank facility is Rabo Bank and Frank Dom did everything they could then to speed up the process of getting us financing to to get everything back. So it was a huge team effort to get us to where we are today. And I can't thank everyone enough for what you did the day of the fire and since that period of time. It's great to be part of a small community where we're all friends and can help each other out. So God bless, and let's look towards the future.